On Osrc News at 7, Governor Ayedatiwa appoints new Director General for Ondo State Renovation Corporation. Tinubu unveils 47.9 trillion naira 2025 budget as National Assembly extends 2024 budget implementation. Inspector General of Police Egbetokun prohibits arbitrary arrest, searches by police at checkpoints. And on the foreign scene, UN envoy warns of prolonged conflict amid growing support for Syria's new government.
Thanks for joining us on the news tonight. I am Sahid Aribisala. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has approved the appointment of Mr. Kenneth Odushola Stevenson as the new Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Ondo State Renovation Corporation, Osrc. The appointment followed the dissolution of the board and management of the Ondo State Renovation Corporation. In a statement, the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ebenezer Adeniyo, says the dissolved management and board are to hand over all government properties in their possession to the new Director General with immediate effect. Governor Ayedatiwa thanked the chairman and members of the dissolved board and management for their services and wished them well in their future endeavors. Meanwhile, the immediate past chairman of Ondo State Renovation Corporation, Osrc, Mr. Kule Adebayo, Director General, Mr. Kenneth Odushola Stevenson, on his appointment. In a statement, Mr. Adebayo said he had called the new Osrc emsman and had fruitful discussions with him on how to have a seamless transition. He said the vast experience, knowledge, and capabilities of Mr. Odushola Stevenson would provide the needed wings for new heights. Mr. Adebayo also thanked the state governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, for giving him the opportunity to serve. President Bola Tinubu has presented the 2025 budget of 47.9 trillion naira to the National Assembly. Tagged the restoration budget, security, peace, and building prosperity. The budget was presented by the approved by the Federal Executive Council on Tuesday. It projects 34.8 trillion naira in revenue and a total expenditure of 47.9 trillion naira, leaving a projected deficit of 13 trillion naira, equivalent to 3.89% of Nigeria's gross domestic product. The budget is based on key assumptions, including a crude oil benchmark price of $75 per barrel, daily production of 2.06 million barrels, and an exchange rate of 1,500 naira to the dollar. The largest allocation of 4.91 trillion naira is directed towards defense and security to address safety and stability.
The 2025 budget that I present to you today is one of the restoration. It seeks to consolidate the key policies we have instituted to restructure our economy, boost human capital development, increase the volume of trade and investment, bolster oil and gas production, get our manufacturing sector humming again, and ultimately increase the competitiveness of our great nation and economy. We have allocated 402 billion naira for infrastructural investment in the health sector of year 2025 budget. And another 282.65 billion naira for the basic health care fund. Our hospitals will be refertilized with medication and better resources, ensuring quality care for all Nigerians. This is consistent with the federal government's planned procurement of essential drugs for distribution to public healthcare centers and facilities, nationwide improvement in healthcare across and reducing medical imports dependency. The 2025 budget proposal again reinforces our administration's roadmap to secure peace, prosperity, and hope for a greater future for our beloved nation. This budget christened budget of restoration, securing peace, building prosperity, strikes at the very core of our Renew Hope agenda and demonstrates our commitment to stabilizing the economy, improving the lives and repositioning our country for greater performance. The journey of economic renewal and institutional development, which we began 18 months ago, and I emphasize just 18 months ago, as a nation, is very much underway. It is not a journey of our choosing, but one we have to embark on for Nigeria to have a real chance at greatness. And I thank every Nigerian for embarking of this journey of reform and transformation with us.
Well, following that presentation of the 2025 budget to the National Assembly, President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Lagos. The Federal Executive Council, chaired by President Tinubu, has officially commenced its annual recess, which runs from December 18, 2024 to January 6, 2025. The federal government is set to extend the implementation of the 2024 budget till June 30, 2025. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, announced this at the presentation of the budget. In a speech, Akpabio announced that the National Assembly has commenced the process to extend the budget implementation till June 2025. He stated that the extension would soon be deliberated upon and presented to the President for assent. The Ondo State House of Assembly says it is taking a decisive action against land grabbing to protect property owners and improve land management. During a public hearing for a new bill aimed at prohibiting illegal land occupations, sponsor of the bill and lawmaker representing Ondo West constituency, Munyolorun Ogunwumiju, stressed the bill's necessity for economic stability and social harmony. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshiola Adesuyajayi reports.
Gathered here at the mini chamber of the Assembly are traditional rulers, civil society organizations, legal experts, and community leaders to discuss the proposed bill to prohibit forceful entry, illegal occupation, and violent takeover of landed properties. This legislation addresses the rising incidents of land disputes and criminal encroachment on both private and communal lands. The bill also seeks to impose strict penalties on violators, aiming to ensure justice for victims and deter future offences. The sponsor of the bill, Munyolorun Ogunwumiju, emphasized its urgency, labeling land grabbing a significant threat to economic stability and social harmony.
For the encroacher, there will be a penalty of up to 5 years imprisonment. for any approacher who either is in the property or gives another property, gives the same property to another person to stay in. So anybody who rents a house must be sure that he's renting from the right person. Anybody that buys a property must be sure he's buying from the right person. Because if you buy from a thief, you too, you are labeled a thief.
The speaker, Olamide Oladiji, reassured participants that their feedback would be integrated into the final draft, reaffirming the Assembly's dedication to laws that foster peace, security, and economic growth in Ondo State.
The high demand of land resulted in Ondo State the activity of land grabber due to the fact that there is no law in the land prohibiting and regulating their activity. The land is of tremendous importance to human beings because it is basic to all their endeavor. Therefore, ownership, acquisition, and possession of land have always been an issue globally. Ondo State and other states are not left out of this crisis related to land, which resulted in land grabbers and land grabbing in Ondo State. I want to appreciate all our royal father. I want to appreciate all the Ondo State people here present. And I pray that God will use us to pass this bill into law.
The representative of the Council of Traditional Rulers, Oba Adebayo Akinwale, expressed hope that the bill would safeguard ancestral lands from encroachment and protect communal heritage. Legal representatives from the Nigerian Bar Association supported the bill, highlighting the need for clearer definition of offences and sufficient enforcement resources.
On balance, this bill is a very, very good move of government, and we thank all of you who have participated to bring us to this point.
Indeed, an interesting law that we've all been waiting for. And I must say that I commend the sponsor of the bill, and of course the House that have adopted it for us to come and comment and give our own suggestions. The bill has tried to criminalize some acts of the one we will call the Omonilex and some other individuals.
Once enacted, the bill is expected to curb illegal land activities while promoting transparent land administration practices that will enhance investor confidence and support sustainable development in Ondo State.
The report was presented from our studio. The Central Bank of Nigeria has introduced a daily cash-out transaction limit of 100,000 naira per individual customer for point-of-sale as part of new measures to advance the cashless policy in Nigeria. The directive, contained in a circular addressed to deposit money banks, microfinance banks, mobile money operators, and super agents, mandates immediate compliance by all stakeholders. According to the directive, POS agents must ensure that individual customers' withdrawals do not exceed 100,000 naira daily, while agents are restricted to a cumulative cash-out limit of 1.2 million naira per day, and customers face a maximum cash withdrawal limit of 500,000 naira per week. The CBN has mandated that all agency banking transactions must be conducted exclusively through float accounts maintained with the principal institutions to ensure accountability. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has issued a directive banning arbitrary arrest, detention, and searching of phones of road users by police officers across Nigeria in a bid to curb human rights abuses and restore public trust. The warning is contained in a police wireless message addressed to all the state commands. In the letter by the Department of Operations for the Force Headquarters, Egbetokun stated that such impunity and unlawful attitudes are portraying the Nigeria Police Force in bad light. He warned that any police personnel caught indulging in the prohibited act will be punished, including the Commissioner of Police of the command and their supervisors. We're due to take a break on the news at 7. We'll be back with more stories. Stay with us. It's still Osrc News at 7. Thanks for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. Two more stories. As part of its efforts to curb criminal activities, operatives of Ondo State Amotekun Corps have arrested 7 suspects for violation of anti-open grazing law, burglary and theft. At a press briefing held at the Corps headquarters in Akure, Amotekun Commander Adetunji Adeleye urged the public to remain vigilant and report suspicious activities, especially during the festive season. There's more in this report.
In furtherance of its mandate to enhance security of lives and property in Ondo State, the Amotekun Corps arrested these suspected criminals in different parts of the state. Among the suspects are 2 individuals arrested for violating the state's anti-open grazing law. Amotekun Commander Adetunji Adeleye condemned the nefarious activities of some herders who allegedly expelled a homeowner from her property.
See, they come to my house, then destroy my house. They open the door.
Who come your house?
I just see them inside my house, then sleep.
Waiting.
With dagger, then get that dagger.
Okay.
Then plenty. So then they cook for that place. You see sheets, cow sheets inside the city room everywhere. I beg them, say, please leave my house. They said no.
The commander noted that the Corps has been working with Miyetti Allah leadership to educate herders on peaceful grazing practices to reduce clashes with farmers.
We want to place it on record that in recent times there has been increase in the destruction of farmlands. On one of those occasions, the one that happened in the central senatorial district of Ondo State, these herders actually drove out the owner of a building and occupied the building in the last 6 months and warned the woman who owns the building never to come near. We had attempted about 3-4 times to appeal to them to leave the premises and not to come back. But every night, after grazing on the available farms around the building, they will bring over 1,000 cows into the premises of the woman.
Also arrested by the Corps operatives is a car theft syndicate led by one Hassan, who allegedly uses locally fabricated master keys to steal vehicles. Hassan was apprehended in Ore while attempting to steal a Toyota Hilux after security guards raised the alarm. The Corps also apprehended one Rabi Waliu for allegedly dismantling stolen motorcycles. 2 other suspects were arrested for stealing vehicle batteries, tires, and brain boxes from cars parked at mechanical workshops. Another suspect, Samuel, was detained for stealing 2 air conditioners from a residential property. Commander Adeleye attributed the success of these operations to information provided by the public.
We want to appeal to our farmers, rather than take laws into their hand, to report all such cases to Amotekun Corps to prevent breakdown of law and order. The Amotekun Rangers were able to apprehend these ones because we got actionable information from farmers.
Adeleye sought continuous cooperation of the people to combat crime, urging the public to support the Amotekun Corps. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
Not less than 30 million naira worth of goods and property were destroyed in a fire outbreak that occurred at Okitupa Regional Market, Idepe, in Okitupa local government. While recounting the losses during the visit by Ondo State government officials to the scene of the incident, affected traders revealed that most of them had borrowed capital to stock their shops and now face the challenge of repaying their loans despite the devastating loss. Omar Olambiju reports that Special Assistant to Governor Aidachua on Trade Affairs, Bolade Eko Davis, led government officials to sympathize with the victims.
At least 9 lock-up shops, mostly on frozen foods, were among the property that gulped fire at exactly 1 a.m. on Thursday, 12th December 2024, at the popular Okitepupa Regional Market in Idekpe, which took the intervention of fire service officials to put off the fire. Some of these traders, including an over 70-year-old woman, recounted their losses, saying they just stocked their shops against the festive celebration.
Àgbà tí wọ́n pè mí pé ọjà ń jó, èmi àti màmá tá a jọ wà níwájú ìta yẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n màmá yẹn wá lóru, ọpẹ́ ẹ̀ ló pa gbogbo ti orí tébù mi pátápátá. Wọ́n fi pè mí báyìí bí after 12 lóru, mo ní ṣọ́ọ̀bù mi ń jó. Bí ẹni pé níwọ̀n bá ní bọ̀gbà tí mo dé bí báyìí kò ṣeé fọwọ́ kàn mọ́. Ó ti sú gbogbo ènìyàn. So ọjà tó ṣàjò ń bẹ up to pẹ̀lú fíìtà tí bá ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ pọ̀ a lọ ṣáà lọ bí 7 million naira. Tó ọjà tí mo já lọ́jọ́ yẹn pọ̀ gan. Ọjà tá kó wọlé yẹn tèmi nìkan mi lè sọ pàtó pé 10 million ní nǹkan tó jó ń bẹ. A dẹ̀ rí láàrin wa tó gbé owó sínú ilé.
They pleaded for government's intervention as the facilities were borrowed from financial institutions, which requires immediate payback.
So mo bẹ̀ ọlọ́lá jùlọ wa kó jọ gbogbo wa náà à ń yáwó yìí ni. Irú èmi tí mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ opó ni mí o. Mi ò lọ́kọ. Mò ń struggle ni. Mo dẹ̀ ń yáwó tí mo fi ń tajà yìí o.
Iyalaje of the market, Florence Irinyemi, lauded the sympathizing visits of Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, describing it as a testament of government's dedication to women development in the state.
Àrọ̀ ìjọba nǹkan tó ń lè ṣe fún wa kàn jọ kàn ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Gbogbo àwọn tí nǹkan ẹjọ́ yẹn kàn jọ kàn ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ nítorí gbogbo obìnrin tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó ń sá káàkiri ṣe là ń yáwó. Abẹ̀ wọn ni nǹkan tágbára wọn bá gbé kí ọlọ́lá wa Lucky Orímisàn Ayédàtiwa ó jọ kó ràn wá lọ́wọ́ kójú má ti àwa obìnrin.
Identifying with the victims, Special Assistant to Governor Ayedatiwa on Trade Affairs, Bolade Eko Davis, who led the inspection team, sympathized with the victims and assured them of Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa's commitment to their welfare. While encouraging them not to relent in their pursuit of success, Mrs. Eko Davis advised the traders to henceforth take precautionary measures to avoid future occurrences.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ a máa dáná oúnjẹ náà, oúnjẹ kéékèèké tá a máa ń fẹ́ dáná ẹ̀ kó tó di pé à ń lọ sílé. Ẹ má jẹ́ a dá nílé ìtajà wa. Àsìkò ẹ̀rùn la wà yìí, àsìkò ọ̀gbẹlẹ̀ la wà yìí. Èèyàn lè ṣáná kékeré kó carelessly kó kàn dùn síbì kan. Kí náà yẹn má ràn títí tólú ẹ̀ á fi lọ. Kéèyàn wá lọ tán, kí náà yẹn wá gbà. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run. Ẹ jẹ́ á dáàbò bo àwọn nǹkan wa. Owó òun ò easy láti rí. Bí bàbá wa bá tiẹ̀ máa náwó sí ìwọ̀nba díẹ̀ ni. Ẹrù tó sọnù níbí ẹrù ńlá ni. Ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ pé ní agbára Ọlọ́run á di fún yín.
Normalcy has returned to the market as business transactions has resumed in earnest as at press time. Omoriola Mbeji, Osrc News.
And outside Nigeria now, Venezuela has arrested a military police officer from Argentina, accusing him of espionage. It comes as Argentina shelters Venezuela opposition members at its embassy in Caracas. It's the latest in a series of diplomatic disputes between the two nations since Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro declared victory in July's disputed election. Kemsala Jamu has details.
They have been living in the Argentine embassy for 9 months. 6 members of the Venezuelan opposition close to former presidential candidate Marina Corina Machado, who have taken refuge at the embassy in Caracas. The embassy is represented by Brazil since Argentina and Venezuela broke off diplomatic relations earlier this year. At a weekend news conference, they claim they are under siege.
We have been able to observe security agents with their faces covered, wearing camouflage fatigues and carrying assault rifles.
They also say their electricity is cut off and have no running water. The international community has been requesting a safe passage, but for now, it has not been granted. In July this year, Venezuela and Argentina cut all diplomatic ties following the presidential elections, with Nicolas Maduro claiming victory without providing data to support his claim. Javier Milei was among the first ones to accuse Nicolas Maduro of committing fraud. Maduro responded by calling him a fascist. Now, an Argentine military officer, Naval Gacho, was detained across the border to Venezuela. This was the last photo of him before being imprisoned. He was allegedly traveling to visit his Venezuelan wife and their child, who had returned to Venezuela for personal reasons. Venezuela claims Gacho was on a mission.
What was he doing in Venezuela? What was his job? They don't say that. We will say it at some point. They say his wife was here. If you want to get a girlfriend, come to Venezuela. It hurts them because he was coming to do a mission.
The Argentinian government says Gajo is being used by the government to punish nations who do not recognize Nicolas Maduro's presidency.
And Javier Milei's government has put the Venezuela's case as a critical test for Argentina's foreign policy against communism, against socialism. So I don't think Argentina is going to step down with its pressure.
Gajo is the latest foreigner to be detained in Venezuela since the elections in July. Human rights groups say there are at least 20 from countries like Spain, Ecuador, and the United States. They have been accused of conspiracy and espionage. All have no idea when or if they will be freed. Kemisola Ojomu, Osrc News.
The UN's envoy to Syria has warned that the conflict in the country is far from over. Addressing the Security Council from Damascus, Geir Pedersen said there is growing support to recognize the new leaders as they presented a roadmap for Syria's transition. And to end the news tonight, another look at the major stories. We told you that Governor Lucky Aiyedati was appointed Mr. Stevenson Odushola as the new Director General for Ondo State Renovation Corporation, OSRC. Also informed you that President Bola Tinubu has presented a 47.9 trillion naira 2025 budget to the National Assembly. Also informed you that the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has prohibited the arbitrary arrest and searches by police officers at checkpoints. And that's the news tonight. Thanks for watching. Good evening.